Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to topic 24. In this topic, we're going to be seeing how to put up the material as well as the shadows. So guys, over here, as you guys can see, we're going to start with the grass. Now, I've already brought in a lot of the materials, but you guys can obviously go ahead and open up the materials and then use it by defining the pattern. So do remember how to define the pattern. You can click on edit and then you can click on the define pattern and we'll be able to use the material over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go ahead and double click on this and I'll just go ahead to the pattern overlay and I can just go ahead and apply these different grass patterns that I have over here. Now once you have installed the pattern, you'll be able to use it all the time. So that's basically what's happening with the software which I'm using as well. And you can see I've applied the grass pattern over here. Then we've got the driveway. I like reducing the opacity because I don't like too much of the dark pattern to be there. We can go ahead for the driveway and add in a pattern overlay, which is just a little dark. You can say reduce the opacity for this also. So light gray color actually gives us very nice soothing tone rather than very bright colors. When we talk about the walkway, I can go ahead and I'd like to give maybe like grass and stone at the same time, something like this. This would be like a decent walkway. Something like that. Now we can look up for the first step over here, which I'll double click on and I'll give it a wooden texture. Choose that layer over here, this gear, and I can just go ahead and copy this layer style. And that's basically because I'm going to paste it on all of these three. Just paste that over here. If you want, you can actually open up the ground floor plan and actually paste the same deck over here itself. So I'll just do that as well. I can just go open up and we'll just open up our PSD file. And over here we've got the ground floor plan. You can see it'll be a slightly different. I'll just open up. Of course, it's going to be slightly different. Things a little darker as well. What we can do is just kind of go here and copy the layer style. And I can actually just go here directly and paste it over here. You can see why I said to do that, because then we'll be using the same material itself, right? You don't want to just try something out directly different. Now once I'm done with this, guys, we can actually go ahead further and open up even the first floor plan, and that being because we will be putting in the material as well from the terrace. So you can copy this layer style and just go ahead here to the site plan and actually just paste it out over here, something like that. Alright, so this is mostly the material that we have already, but now let's go ahead and kind of provide the terrace tiles as well. And you can see shadows have also been provided, but we will be of course adding shadows to the ones which we are giving as new patterns and new materials. So I'll just go ahead and select the tiles over here. We can just reduce that with something like this, reduce that opacity again a little lighter. And you can go back to the ground floor plan. I'll be selecting the back stair tiles. So just copy this layer style and I can just go ahead and paste it over here from N1 to N3. Paste that over there. Alright, so I think this looks fair enough. We'll be putting up the material for the pergolas as well. Now for the pergolas, guys, we can actually use even this lighter color stair material. So I'll just be copying this layer and I'll just go ahead and paste it on this pergola. Now we can obviously give new colors to this as well, but we'll be using these colors just for efficiency's sake. Now the last thing over here is this particular water tank that we have, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to double click on this and just give it a concrete pattern. So let's just quickly go ahead and do that. Now we can just give it this concrete pattern and just reduce the scale finally. Something like this, and we can reduce this layer as well. So as you can see, we have created the patterns everywhere and we have kind of completed that over here. Now for the next thing, we're actually going to go ahead and give the shadows to this entire site plan. So for that, guys, we have shadows provided in a couple of places like the pergolas as well as the terrace and the stairs. We'll go ahead and give inner shadow to the terrace itself. So double clicking, I'll select the inner shadow. And you can see if I increase this a little bit as well as the size, I'll actually have the shadow over here. And I can just go ahead and press OK. And because I've given inner shadow to the parapet wall, there is a kind of shadow over here as well, because this part is not included in the terrace. So guys, once we're done with this much, we can also go ahead and give a drop shadow to the terrace. So I've already given an inner shadow. I'll go ahead and give a drop shadow as well. Now the reason I'm giving a drop shadow, guys, is because if I increase the distance, you can actually see that this whole building outline is actually dropping a shadow. So I can actually switch off the global light and change the angle. So let's say it's around here. I can increase the size as well, so it gets diffused, as well as I can increase the distance a little bit more. So just something like that. That'll actually give a lot of more depth to the entire building itself. Now guys, the next thing is our balcony. Even though the balcony has an inner shadow, why does it have an inner shadow? Not just because we copied it from the plan, but even because it will make sense since there is going to be a wall over here. So you have to actually think about those small things, how the shadow will actually look. So I'll just go ahead and give the balcony a drop shadow as well, and I'll just explain to you why that's done too. So as you can see, I've given this the balcony a drop shadow, and what happens because of that is we can actually feel like the balcony is on a upper floor than the base over here. Now we have both of these, which are our walkway and our driveway, and both of these will have inner shadows itself. So I can just go ahead and give that an inner shadow. We can increase that, and I can press OK. And similarly, I'll give my driveway also an inner shadow. I can change the line slightly from this side, so I'll switch off the global light, change the angle, and I'll go ahead and increase the distance. Not that much though, but we can increase the size a little bit as well. So this will actually give a proper depth to our entire design right now. Now the last thing that we can do, guys, is actually give an inner shadow to the grass. So that will actually kind of show as the shadow of the boundary wall that is there. And you can see we'll just go ahead and increase that a little bit so you can get that kind of shadow over here. And I think that will look nice, good enough. You can see how we have the shadows now falling over here, plus the entire site plan now has really good depth. And I believe this is a good way to actually showcase your site plan. You have to work a little bit, by providing the proper material, the scale, as well as the shadows. But in the end of the day, you're able to achieve something which looks really good. Now in the next topic, we'll be going ahead and adding material or objects. So let's see that in the next topic, guys. All the best. Take care.